Welcome to this week's Connect the Dots, an industry intelligence production. I'm your host, Alec Gaylord. Today's topic? Sustainable fashion. And I don't mean reusing old ugly sweaters like we all do during the holiday season. With the help of biotechnology, the apparel industry is making one well-dressed giant leap forward so the eco-minded can also look dashing. Let's start in swinging London, home of numerous supermodels and forward-thinking fashion company Pangaea. Just 2 months ago, the company launched a new range of sustainable activewear called the Pangaea Gym. The clothing line is made of bio-based nylon derived 100% from renewable and biodegradable ingredients like castor oil, eucalyptus, seaweed, and something called BioWick. Wait, what's that last item? Well, BioWick is using wicking treatment to develop microalgae into garment materials. If that's not enough science for you, Pangaea also uses something called Roika V550. It's a stretch yarn that can be broken down by microorganisms into toxic-free elements over the course of just 5 years. And if 5 years seems like a long time for you, just think about this. Your old polyester shirt may stay in the landfill for the next 50 years and beyond. Back stateside, in the unlikely fashion mecca of South Carolina, a company called Tidal Vision recently opened a new facility for bio-based treatment of textiles. What makes Tidal Vision special? Well, the company's Tidal Tech's water-based textile treatment solution is formulated with chitosan, which is a sugar obtained from the hard outer skeleton of shellfish, a common seafood industry waste. Tidal Vision sources chitosan from crab and shrimp cells that would otherwise be discarded. And if there's one thing the fashion world loves, it's making something old new again. Tidal Vision's business development director, Carrie Ingalls, says, quote, "This is the first time that fiber, yarn, and textile manufacturers have had an environmentally friendly option at a lower cost with equivalent or better performance." End quote. Watch out. No one can strut their stuff on a catwalk like a crab who knows that chitosan is in season. Our next stop? Let's go south of the border to festive and exciting Brazil. In Sao Paulo, chemical company Solvay is moonlighting very well nowadays in the garment game. The company recently launched BioOmni, a partially bio-based polyamide. Now, polyamide is more commonly known as nylon, a synthetic yarn. So, what Solvay has just introduced is a nylon yarn made partially of biomaterials. With the BioOmni launch, sustainable textiles now account for 30% of Solvay's global polyamide portfolio, and the company wants that figure to reach 50% within 3 years. Solvay's R&D scientists have worked on the creation of BioOmni for 2 years, which is some staying power, because we all know fashion styles rarely last even 2 years. Solvay also created the world's first totally biodegradable nylon called Omni Sol Eco, which decomposes in about 3 years in controlled landfills. Man, who knew yarn could be used to knit together such a sustainable future? Leaving Brazil and strutting across the South Pacific, we find an Australian initiative to return cotton textile waste to fields in order to break down in the soil. The program works like this. Around 2 tons of cotton textiles, garments, and end-of-life overalls have been transported to Alcharinga Farm, just outside the rural and fun-to-say town of Goondiwindi. The old garments are spread onto a cotton field by a local farmer, so the fabrics will eventually break down in the soil. What will that accomplish? It will increase microbial activity in the soil, locking in carbon and improving soil moisture. Just think of it as truly underground fashion. Scientists studying this area are assessing effects on soil nutrition and microbial biomass. Cotton Australia is a partner in this project. And here's what the organization's supply chain consultant, Brooke Summers, says. Quote, "Returning cotton garments to the farms on which they began would completely close the loop on a cotton product, providing a win for brands, retailers, and consumers looking for circular solutions, and a possible benefit to our farmers, their soils, and the planet. End quote. Well, looks like the land down under might now be on top of things. Jet setting back to the States for our last story, we come to a carbon recycling firm in Illinois called LanzaTech. The company produces ethanol from waste carbon sources, and now it is converting that ethanol into polyester. Recently, LanzaTech turned up its bio-chic endeavors by partnering with Lululemon to create the world's first yarn using recycled carbon that would otherwise be emitted to the atmosphere and create more pollution. If you haven't heard of carbon recycling, here's how it works. First, LanzaTech sources carbon from industrial emissions, syngas, agricultural waste, and household waste. Using fermentation, LanzaTech can convert these industrial wastes into ethanol and various other chemicals. This process of capturing and recycling carbon before it is released in the atmosphere is an innovation that LanzaTech has already brought to the airlines and home care products industries. With Lululemon as the partner, LanzaTech is now applying the same method to textile production, helping the apparel company achieve lower carbon footprint. Ted Dagnese, Lululemon's chief supply chain officer, says, quote, "Our partnership with LanzaTech will help Lululemon deliver on our goals to make 100% of our products with sustainable materials and end-of-use solutions, moving us toward a circular ecosystem by 2030, end quote. Here at Industry Intel, we think in the sharply lined world of fashion, maybe there's a new shape designers are pondering. A circle. Well, that's all for our Sustainable Fashion Tour. With Industry Intelligence, I'm Alec Gaylord, reminding you that everything you wear will eventually be made in ways supermodels never intended. Visit our website at www.industryintel.com and check out our blog and podcast for more cool ideas. Have a great day and keep the dots connected.